This episode of the Black Girl Boss Podcast is brought to you by Black Girl Boss University. Black Girl Boss University is an online school for new and aspiring entrepreneurs to get the affordable, yes, you guys, the affordable tools and strategies that you need to grow your business. Black Girl Boss University registration is open right now, and everyone who signs up for the month of August will receive a free coaching session with me. So go to www.blackgirlbosses.com/university to download your university brochure and sign up for your free trial today. Let's start the show.
Work hard for what you want in life.
You work hard for what you want in life.
That your word is your bond, that you do what you say you're going to do.
That your word is your bond and you do what you say.
That you treat people with dignity and respect.
That you treat people with respect.
Reach of your dreams and your willingness to work hard.
The strength of your dreams and your willingness to work for them.
Work hard.
Work hard.
Work hard.
Work hard.
Work hard. Work hard.
Hey guys, I'm Tatum.
And it's your girl Milan.
And welcome to episode 31 of the Black Girl Boss Podcast. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yes, episode 31. So today's episode is kind of important to us and very special because it helped with a lot of our growth and who we are today. So today we're going to be talking about facing adversity in business and entrepreneurship as a Black woman. And that's the most important part of this, as a Black woman, because not every culture has the same struggle that we have. And so in this episode, I really wanted to get deep into these that we suffer, not only in business, but as entrepreneurs, even in those two, but just growing up in general, because I believe that, Tatum, correct me if I'm wrong, that those adversities in our childhoods or in our teen years has definitely made us who we are and how we face things today.
Absolutely.
And definitely how we handle things. So I guess my first question to you really is jumping into it and having you, since you're a full-time entrepreneur now, but let's backtrack to when you were in business, a time that you faced adversity in business as a Black woman.
Well, I mean, what I think about when I hear about adversity as a Black woman, I think back to like jobs before I started my business, because when I first graduated college, I had like a bunch of different roles or whatever. And from PG County, everybody's Black. Went to HBCU, everybody's Black. I didn't really become the minority in my life, my little bubble of my life, until after I graduated college and got into the workforce. So then I started realizing like how racist the world is, like how other people view me. Like I remember my first job out of school, everybody was white. It was one Black girl, one African guy, and I was the other Black girl. And, you know, Africans, especially people who are like, not necessarily U.S. citizens, they were born in their countries and came here, or first generation, their cultures are different. Like me being a Black American woman, my experience is different than somebody who is African or Caribbean. So in my first job, this guy, he was watching like a video on something, and it was these two Black girls fighting. He sat in the cube next to me, and we never talked. Like I thought he was a complete asshole, just because this may sound wrong, but I think most white guys are like assholes. So he was just a total jerk. And my first job was in sales, so you got to be somewhat of a jerk to be in sales full time anyway. So like he shows me this video of these two Black girls fighting and was like, do better. When I tell you, I had to gather my emotions. Like, this was me fresh out of school. This was pre-Queen Academy. This was, I could still fight you and don't got to worry about a brand. Like, you know, because I was like, yo, this guy really just said this to me. And I was like, should I punch him in the face? Because that's what I want to do. But then I was like, I'm in Virginia. I'm going to get locked up. I just punched this white man. I'm definitely going to jail. Like, in my mind, all of this is going through my head in like 2 seconds. So I literally just walked out. Like, I just left. I went downstairs. I walked outside. I took a whole walk around the block because I was so furious. And I didn't know what to do about that. So then I went back, and I didn't really have nobody to talk to about it, because the other Black girl that was there, she went to Howard, so she went to a HBCU, but I'm not sure how she grew up because she seemed way more comfortable around like the environment than I was, because this was like culture shock for me. So
Right.
I didn't know what to talk about. I'm code switching, so I'm talking way more proper than I normally do. I'm scared to really like talk about what I like because I don't want nobody to think I'm like the spokesperson for Black people, or I'm this or that I'm like ratchet or something like that because of the things that I like. So I was kind of not sure how to be myself in a white environment. So I was just like, I didn't know what to do. So anyway, that was my first time really dealing with like being a Black woman in a predominantly white male setting. And then even after that, like I told you I had a lot of jobs. Like my third or fourth job, no, my second job after that was at a marketing firm and everybody was white. And this was mostly women, so it was a bunch of white girls. And it was then that I really saw the real difference between how Black women are brought up and how white women are brought up. Because the way we're brought up is to be independent, don't rely on a man for anything, like be strong, stuff like that, which can be a good and a bad thing, but that's just how we're raised. But then with them, it was like, go to college, find your husband, and keep a home and all of this stuff. Like, it was different. And they were asking me, I had a boyfriend at the time, not my current boyfriend, but I had a boyfriend back then. And they were like, so when are you guys getting married? I'm like, Slim, I just graduated college like a few months ago. What you talking about getting married? Like, what? What are y'all? So do you think? And I'm like, why are y'all so obsessed with like marriage and kids? But that's them. Like, that's what they've grown up in. And even in the job, they were so complacent. Like, I hated that job. It was underpaid. I was overworked. My boss was super passive aggressive. Our personalities did not click at all. But they had like similar complaints, but they were always like complain, but they were okay with it. Like, they never wanted more because their husbands was something, or their husbands owned businesses, or their husbands was the breadwinner. So they were just at work for something to do during the day. Right. So then I was able to really see like the differences and being a Black woman and being a white woman or white in general in the world. And to be honest, it really made me love being a Black woman even more, because if your husband left you, like, what do you want to do? That's why your husband be beating your ass and cheating on you and stuff, because you ain't going nowhere, because you can't. Like, you don't know how to be by yourself, or you don't know how to build something for yourself. And even when I was at that job, that's when I first got the idea for the Queen Academy. And I actually started the business while I was still at that job. And I remember talking to them about it, like, oh, I can't do this. Like, I can't work a job. Like, I feel so confined to this role. Like, I can't do this. Like, I'm going to start a business. I'm going to do this. And they were kind of like, well, why would you do that? Or, well, how are you going to do that? You're going to start. So, like, and I would be like, don't talk to me because I can't talk to y'all. Like, we're not on one accord. We different. But again, those were some of my very early on struggles with understanding the differences of where I stood in society, or the differences of cultures, upbringings, mindset of Black women in other cultures. And again, that made me feel so much better, and made me so grateful to be a Black woman, and flaws and all, just to be as a part of like a group of women who are just so amazing, because other people aren't raised like us. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I know that was long-winded, but that was the most that I can think about from being a Black woman. And even now, that's why I try to surround myself with Black women. So I don't even really got to deal with that. That world of being a minority don't exist to me no more, because I just want to surround myself with Black women, Black people who are out here excelling, and just live in that bubble for now.
I think that's great though, because you were able to overcome it by finding that self-love and self-worth, and realizing that being a Black woman is so superior just by looking at your surroundings. Like, I think that's amazing that you were able to overcome that just by observation and finding that self-check within. So I think that's actually really dope. And you learned from that experience, like, to never, think, okay, well, just because that's how you feel about Black women, that makes me less. No, that means you're intimidated, or, okay, well, you have that situation going over there, which makes me want to grind and be higher. So I think that's actually really, really dope, to be honest with you. with my situation, as far as like facing adversity in business as a Black woman, and this may sound really crazy, but it happens so often. I face adversity as a Black woman at my, well, let me say not say 9 to 5. Lauren told us to say the environment that pays us, the environment that pays me, dealing with the other Black women that are there. And it's because I'm years younger than them. And I'm a Black woman. So it's like certain things that one of them would say, and she says this almost all the time, but it actually not even gonna say just her. A lot of them say this. So for example, I was getting off the elevator one day and she came up to me and she's like, "Hey, what size pants do you wear?" I'm like, "What?" And everybody knows I'm petite, I'm tiny, I'm small. And she's like, "Well, my daughter is a she's what size pants do you wear?" I said, "I wear between a 4 and a 6." And she's like, "Oh, no, you don't. No, you the same size as you." And I said, "Well, how old is your daughter?" "She's 12." I said, "Okay, how tall is she?" She's like 5'6". Well, first of all, you got a tree as a daughter right now. She's going to be tall as hell. So you might as well jump over that bridge and get over that. You're not going to be a struggle. So she's like, "Well, yeah, she's like a 00." First of all, y'all, I have a nice little butt. I have nice thighs and I have thick calves from being an athlete. Ain't none of this going in the size 00. Ain't none of this ever been in a size 00 when I was a 1. So it's like saying little remarks like that is kind of, offensive just because you're implying, "Oh, I'm younger, I'm smaller, I have to be the same size as your daughter." So, that was her. Then another lady that works there, she's like, "Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure, if I was as young as you are and as cute and petite and this, that, and the third, I could go out and probably find another job if I was that. But that's probably like, 40 years ago, X, Y, and Z." But it's like, why do we always have to bring up my appearance? Why, you know what I mean? Like, why do we always have to touch on that? Why not say, if I had the educational background like you had, maybe I could get, a job like this. But why do we have to touch on my appearance and the fact that I'm younger than you and smaller than you? We clearly physically see that. Our eyes work. We see that. So it's like, that's really frustrating. What else has happened? Even little things as far as how work goes at the job is doing work and stuff. They're always giving me like little BS work and stuff to do, and I guess undermining me in a sense, like I'm not capable of doing like project management and other things. But at the same time, damn, I just lost my train of thought. Don't y'all hate when that happens? Oh yeah, at the same time, it's like if you tried and gave me the chance, you would know, but you're only doing that because I'm younger or I haven't been in the government as long as you all have. And at this point in time, you all should retire and give younger people a chance. But yeah, I've been there, 7 years, 2 months. This month makes it 2, going to August will make it 3 months. And I've gotten to the point where if they're like, okay, talking about my appearance or whatever, and I'll make a comment back, nothing smart or anything. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I definitely think, you could do this, that, and the third, look really nice on you. I don't even come back with a mean comment. I just say something nice back. And it's never really truly bothered me to the point where I'm just like so frustrated or insecure about myself because I'm fine with how I look. I'm fine. It's clearly bothering you. So as far as getting more work and having them, I guess, quote unquote, take me seriously in the work field as far as what I can do, we've had a couple of staff meetings, and in the staff meetings, my boss has at the end complimented me. He was like, "Yeah, you really ran that meeting. You made a lot of great points." So when I get in meetings and we're around the big dogs and the bosses, I'm basically like, "Okay, well, I recall when this, that, and the third happened and this happened, we're not doing this. So in order to improve in this area, I let my intellect show when it matters the most in those meetings. You can keep giving me these little things, but when it comes down to the people who need to see it, I'm going to show it to prove that, I can do more than that." So my boss, the most recent one, he said, "Yeah, can you do this, that, and the third and make sure that this gets done because we really need to make sure that our system is flowing." So basically it was a strong project that I had to work on. And I know it made a couple of people feel a certain type of way. But again, that's how I overcame those little situations of giving me BS work after I have a whole master's degree. Okay, it's cool. I'm just going to, when we get to that big meeting, I'm going to apply it there so everybody can see it. And you're going to try to say something about something, and I'm going to come back with X, Y, and Z just to prove that I know what I'm talking about. And you're undermining me. So it's definitely shown in that way. So, I mean, I guess from these experiences, I've definitely learned that it doesn't have to be men in the situation. It doesn't have to be a different culture in the situation. It can be your same sex and the same person of your culture to really place you in that situation of adversity. So yeah, I definitely appreciate those experiences now because I am able to empower other women. Tatum and I both are able to empower other women based off situations we dealt with. So I definitely appreciate them for acting that way because I know what I won't say to another woman because of how it can make her feel, and just it's not appropriate anyway. So T, now that we've shared, I guess, both of our experiences at adversity as Black women, what type of advice would you give to the ladies about overcoming adversity in their workplace? Because it happens every single day, and I know a lot of us get angry and want to punch a wall and not know how to deal with it. So, what would you say to them?
My biggest thing, and I have so much to say. Like my thing like muted, so I was like trying to talk, but I couldn't. But I don't understand. Before we get to that, like what is it about women a lot of time, especially older women? And I don't want to put it on menopause, because that's slightly shady, but like, what is it about older women sometimes where they feel like they have to project whatever they didn't accomplish on you just because you young and doing your thing? Like, that don't have nothing to do with them. Like, that makes me so annoyed. Like, I feel like it's their responsibility as women who are older and more mature and wiser than you. Well, more mature is relative, but older and more wiser, supposedly, than you, to kind of like build you up, to give you gems. Like, listen, I'm not out here. I don't have the confidence to go out and get what I want anymore. Like, don't get stuck in this job. Don't be like me. Like, come on. Like, we don't have to be putting each other down. Like, that makes me so freaking mad. Like, I can't stand when women do that.
Yeah, it's so annoying. It happens so often. Like, I'm like, bruh, every day, every other day, it's just like, okay, even if my hair is done or my hair is, a certain type way, look at your hair. It's so long. If I was young again, I know my hair. Okay, we're not going to be young again.
You're not going to be young again. That's funny. Yeah. Girl, I can talk about that all day. But one thing that I would tell people who are dealing with that in the workplace, especially when you're trying to just get in the mindset of get things done at work so you can go back into your business, is to just pay attention or keep in mind what the plan is. Like, don't get caught up in what's going on at the job. Keep in mind what the plan is. The people who are doing all these things to you, the white people who are throwing these microaggressions at you, who are trying to talk slang when you're around to seem cool, or the older women at your job who are talking down on you or throwing shade, like, let them be miserable. You know what I mean? You have a plan that's way bigger than whatever they're talking about, or way bigger than whatever they got going on. So just stay focused on the plan and just don't get caught up in different distractions, because all that they're doing is distracting you. They trying to throw you off your game. Like, I last week, before I went to the retreat, I had like a really, really stressful week, like borderline anxiety coming back stressful week. So like after the retreat, I was feeling good and was ready to like, get back into the swing of things. But when I woke up, I had like prayed as usual, and like God led me to watch War Room. Have you heard of that movie?
Yeah, I heard of War Room.
So I've seen it before, but I wasn't really like watching it when I watched it the first time. So I was like, War Room, all right. So I get to looking for it. So I found it on Amazon. So I watched the movie and was like taking notes, and the movie's just at its foundation about the power of prayer. So what's I about to say? So yeah, so I watched the movie, I took notes, I prayed after that and all that good stuff. So like a couple of days later, I went to the library I'm doing research for the book that I'm writing. So I went to the library to get some books. So as I'm like perusing through the library, I passed this book called Fervent. So I've seen this book before. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get this book one day, but never really thought about it much to actually go back and find it. So this book, out of all the little ugly books on the shelf, this one like stood out to me. So I picked it up. And so the book is written by the lady who's the star of the movie War Room. So I'm like, hold up. All right, God, like, what you doing here? I don't believe in coincidence. This ain't no coinky thing. Like, what's happening? So so when I got home, I had a little bit of time before I had to leave back out. So I prayed again and I started reading a book. And in the book it talks about how to pray strategically. And in the beginning, it outlines like 10 strategies that the devil uses to distract people, or the devil uses to, the Bible says the devil comes to kill, steal, and destroy. So the 10 strategies, or 10 top strategies that the devil uses to do that. So in reading it though, one of the strategies is to distract us. One of them is to is to get rid of our passion for our purpose, our passion for God, our passion in general, and also to keep us distracted and lazy and stagnant. So that kind of just opened my eyes, because a lot of times, especially us who are believers, I think that, and me too, we underestimate like the devil and the different tactics that he uses. And in a book, it even was describing like, imagine somebody that's like studying you, that's very patient. And they talk about this in Joyce Meyer's book, Battlefield of the Mind too. Like, imagine somebody that's really patient, strategic, that knows you very well. Their ultimate goal is to like kill, steal, and destroy. But they're super patient with it, and they're strategic about how they do it. So to me, after reading those things, it was kind of like, wow, it like opened up my mind to just how manipulative the devil really is. And not even just that, but how that actually translates into everyday life. And a lot of times that translates into the people at work that's talking down on you and pissing you off. So by the time you get home, you don't even feel like working in your business, or you're not grateful for the fact that you do have a job that's keeping your lights on right now, because you're concerned about how you feel about your coworkers. You know what I'm saying? So my thing for everybody that's listening who may be dealing with various adversities and work is to keep the plan in mind. Like, understand that it's temporary. Understand that there is light at the end of the tunnel. That may be cliche, but it is what it is. And really see the distractions at work for what they are, just distractions. So you just need to figure out how to get back focused on what actually matters to you and your life and your future.
Absolutely. That was fun. I don't have any advice. That's why I need to go person time. They don't be killing the game. After she bring God into it and books that she didn't read, I'm like, dag it. I done lost now. You done brought God and books into it. I ain't got nothing else. Nah, but I absolutely agree. And just in situations like that, dealing with business in the workplace, remember what your worth, remember where you came from, remember all the things that you have going that you have to offer, and what you can lose off of a negative response, or even letting anybody get into your space and put negativity into your life. Like, don't exude energy on people that don't need it, or on situations that are not necessary. And once you put that energy out there and give it somebody, they have power over you.
Absolutely.
And you're not going to be able to push through that once somebody has power over you, because now everything that they do, everything they say is going to irritate your soul. And I know y'all know what I'm talking about. It's like being in a relationship that's run its course. You look at, they come in the house with pink on, you just might hate that color pink that day, and now you hate them for the rest of the day.
They breathe the wrong way. Like, what you breathing for? Like, you get on my nerves.
Exactly. And you don't want that type of energy. You don't want to be that type of negative person, because being negative is not allowing blessings in your life. You're actually blocking your blessings with negativity. So just keep that in mind. And when you come into a situation of adversity, just think of all the things that you have going and just stay positive throughout the situation. And we promise you'll definitely be fine. All right, C. So next, I guess it's time to go back into our teenage years or our younger years. More so, I guess, teenage, when adversity really started happening in high school and and when we really started understanding things. And I know it's probably been many, many a times, but I guess name the most effective time and as a child when you had to face adversity, and how it prepared you really to be the businesswoman that you are and to better face adversity in that business situation.
The biggest example, or the most relevant example that I can think of was, as y'all know, like I've talked about, like my teenage years weren't the best, but one time my mother and I, this was one of the times where we moved out because of her issues with my father. So we lived at this hotel in Waldorf, and it was like my senior year of college. High school. And we lived at this hotel for the whole week. And then we didn't have any more money, so we couldn't stay at the hotel past that weekend. We had to figure out where we was going to go. So I had a job. I was doing a lot, and this is like the foundation of why I'm able to do so much now. So I was a student. I was on the dance team. I was like a leader on the dance team too. And I had a job. So I would go to school, leave school, go have dance practice, shower and stuff at school, and then go to work right after that. So I'm like out all day. I didn't get home till like 10 o'clock when the restaurant closed. I was a waitress. So after work, my mother used to pick me up, and luckily my job was close to the hotel we were staying at. So we didn't even have money for real to eat. So I would not eat my lunch at work, and I would just take whatever meal that I got. We got like 50% off. I worked at Bob Evans. We got like 50% off meals, and we were supposed to use that for our lunch. So when I got there, I would just eat like mad biscuits and bread and stuff to kind of like curb my appetite. And then I would use my tips to pay the 50% of a meal, and I would take it home for my mom, and that's what she would eat. And I might eat some of it or just keep eating bread. So we were at this hotel, and it was coming up, and she was like, I don't really know what we about to do. We got to find somewhere to go because we can't stay here no more. So I was like, all right. So I had found us an apartment that was not too far from where we were staying either. We couldn't even really afford this place. Like, it's by the grace of God that we was even able to stay there. And I actually found out recently, she was telling me that she was getting evicted, but she was able to kind of hold them off until I left for school, because this is my senior year of college. So she was able to hold them off until I left for college. So I didn't know this until recently. So she was saying that's what was going on then, because after I got to school, and my parents had moved back in together, and that was like more fire to my anger. Like, I can't believe you moved back in, and we went through so much, yada, yada, yada. But, me being an adult and us having conversations, come to find out she got evicted and she ain't had no choice. But in that time period, me having to find us a place to live within like a day, or me having to get a job so that I can make sure we ate, because I couldn't take the bus to school no more because we was out the hotel was out the school zone. So making sure that she had money for, gas and things like that, or making sure that I used the money that I got from work to buy the stuff that I needed for like for my dance team and things like that. So just kind of making something out of nothing is the biggest lesson that I got out of there, and just being resourceful, not having a woe is me attitude, not getting sucked in of, I can't believe all my friends have loving families and my parents can't stop fighting and we live in a hotel. Like, not really getting caught up in wallowing in what was a bad situation, but more so just being very solution focused. Like, okay, how can I fix this? We need to eat. I need to get a job, let me work at a restaurant, and being strategic. Let me work at a restaurant so food will be cheap. You know what I'm saying? Or as opposed to working somewhere else. So things like that, it just really taught me how to be solution focused and to not allow whatever my current situation is consume me. I think that's the foundation of who I am now, like how I'm able to encourage so many people. I think that's just the foundation of me and the foundation of my business. If there's a problem in my business or problem going on in my journey, I find a solution. I'm not about to sit and wallow on what's going on. You have to be solution focused and focus on the positive of the situation, and not always, get caught up in what could be, or having that woe is me attitude. So yeah. That's pretty much how it molded me, and I'm like extremely grateful for it. I don't know how it would have turned out if I would have had like a cookie cutter upbringing. I probably would have been one of them white girls at work looking for a rich husband.
Hello, no, seriously. But I definitely commend you and thank you for sharing that, because that's a level of transparency that kind of like what we were talking about prior to this call, that people don't provide. They say their quote unquote struggle and don't say anything else after that. So definitely thank you. Me and Tatum have definitely similar backgrounds. My adversity as a child, Lord, came from moving. I probably went to like 9 elementary schools, y'all. I probably went to like 4 elementary schools in 5th grade. It felt like I was moving so much. I mean, which we did. We moved so much. It was crazy. So it's like when I got comfortable at a school or thought I was getting comfortable, it was like, oh, time to move. I think the only time I finished out a whole school was when I was in middle school. I finished out like an entire school in middle school. My 9th grade year, I went to one school, and then for 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, I went to another school. But that was like those 2 times, middle school and then the kind of start of my high school career and end was the only consistency that I really had as far as high school and school went in general. So I think that's one of the biggest things that I faced, because of course there was reasons why we were moving. We couldn't afford to stay in one place, and we were getting evicted or rent was getting too high, things like that. So we had to move. We didn't have a choice but to move. Making friends, and then you're like, oh, that's my best friend. That's your best friend out there because you done moved, and y'all, I'm at 10. We ain't got no cell phone. I can't call her. So it was like we were always moving, and that weighed heavy on my social life, and it weighed heavy on just wanting to make friends. Period. Like, who wants to make friends knowing 9 times out of 10 you're gonna move later? Nobody wants to do that. Then I would just believe to myself. I was younger, so I was quiet, and people would, I guess, quote unquote, try to bully me because I was quiet, and it turned for the worst eventually, because then I started laying hands on people's children. I was like that quiet kid that they always say, you need to watch out for that one. You need to watch out for that one. I was that one. Like, you need to watch out for that one, because I was just too quiet. But it was like a lot of built up frustration. One, because half the time it probably was somewhere we lived and I didn't want to live there, So it's like you're picking at me, you're calling me names and stuff, saying things about me, and you don't really, again, you don't know what somebody's going through. So I went through that so much as a kid, and when it came to growing up now, when even in high school, when I decided to really take full force the things that I do, I learned to never get comfortable. And I say this all the time in my Instagram lives, like, my greatest grind comes from me being uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
When we were moving and stuff and doing everything, I always wanted to be active. I'm like, oh, can I do this? Can I do that? I just needed to be busy. So when I started high school and I came back out this way, which is the PG area, when I came back this way, I was playing basketball, volleyball, softball, running track. I had AP and honors classes. So I wasn't going to sleep until like 2:00 in the morning, having to get up and catch the bus. Gotta get up at 6 because the bus could be there like 7:00 on a dime. You don't want to miss the bus. But I mean, not to say that I was comfortable in that situation, because of course, who the hell is comfortable knowing that you got all that on your plate? Like, that's very uncomfortable because you're tired, you're always working. But I just never felt like I should ever be comfortable, because things can be taken away from you so fast. Mm-hmm. And then you have to know how to adjust again so quickly. And that's what life is about, knowing how to adjust quickly and really knowing how to be uncomfortable if it ever presents itself. So I just took that with me into business now. So yeah, for 2 years and stuff like that, I'm still not comfortable, because it could be gone tomorrow. I may, the business could fail. God, please don't. And I may not make the business in the 3 years, but that's because I'm not settling. I'm not saying, oh yeah, I'm comfortable, I'm just gonna sit here and wait for the opportunity. No, I'm gonna be uncomfortable and make it that opportunity, so I never be in a position to lose it.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's an awesome way to like bring the two back. And I think that's important for everybody that's listening, to figure out how those things that you may have thought were like life changing or life altering or life damaging things, like, how can you turn that to make you stronger today? And a lot of times we are just a compilation of our experiences and our upbringing and things like that. But it's just all about how are you going to use that to accomplish your goals? How are you going to use that to be a better businesswoman? How are you going to use that to be a better woman in general? And a lot of people allow those different things to make them bitter. And to be honest, that's probably why them old ladies at your job be liking the way that they be doing, because a lot of people allow things to to make them cold-hearted. And that even translates to us as Black girl bosses, with a lot of us not being able to work together because we think somebody else's success means our failure, or we think because somebody else is at a certain level in their business and we're not, that somehow takes away from who we are, as opposed to just encouraging each other, you know, and supporting each other and things like that. So I think it's excellent that we're talking about this and how what we've been through has made us where we are. And I definitely just challenge everybody that's listening to do the same thing. And I promise you, the way you look at your upbringing, the way that you look at your life will be so much different if you just change your mindset about whatever you've gone through.
Absolutely. And a lot of people would say, listen to our situation. So, man, my childhood was sucky, or it was this, that, and the third. And it's not that. Like, of course, we probably thought that when we were younger, like, this sucks, this, that, and the third. But when I look back at it, I wouldn't have picked another situation. Because then I wouldn't know how to maneuver because I was so quote unquote privileged. You know, I always had a roof over my head and I lived in the same house for 15, 20 years. And I say that's bad for those who do. But in my situation, you know, if it was that situation, I would be so comfortable. Now I'm just like, oh, you know, my parents had it all together. We had it all together. So I'm just going to have it all together. You know, I wouldn't know the value of hard work, trying to keep things together and always wanting to grind and have it. So I'm happy with my situation. But yeah, see, you definitely gave the same advice that I was going to give too. Yeah. So I guess now it comes down to, we talked about our business life that we've had, and we talked about our childhood. And I guess this one is more so for you than me, because I'm not a full-time entrepreneur yet. So I'm excited to hear about some of the adversities you've experienced in this entrepreneurial life. I can touch on it a little bit, but I'm pretty sure not as much as you can.
To be honest, my biggest adversity right now is myself. And we kind of touched on it last week, but we didn't go into too much detail about how I'm very hard on myself. Like, that's just not something that I say to say. Like, that's just a fact. I'm definitely very hard on myself. And I had like this perfectionist complex to where it's like I have to do things correctly. Like, it needs to be done right. It needs to be perfect, things like that. So that's something I had to get over, because I'm not going to do everything perfect. I'm not going to be perfect. I'm going to make a whole lot of mistakes. You know, I'm going to do things and not just saying me, like y'all, like you're going to do things in your business that you think going to work that don't. You're going to have a target audience and you realize you don't want to work with them for real. So you got to go back to the drawing board and change that. Like, you know, I had to really just, and something I have to continuously be intentional about is just overcoming my own personal roadblocks. You know what I mean? And I pray a lot, like a whole lot more now. But in prayer, like, you know, God has shown me, and not even just recently, but for years, who I'm going to be and to what magnitude, like how powerful I'm going to be in this world. And the most frustrating thing in the world is to know what you're going to do, who you're going to be, and to not be there, like, and to not see it. That is the toughest thing to deal with on a day-to-day basis, because it's like, I know that this is the big picture. Like, I know that she is who I'm going to be, but like, what am I doing right now? Like, why is what I'm looking like not looking like that? You know what I'm saying? And that's tough for me to deal with every day. And that again leads to my different roadblocks. And then being self-employed, I'm in the house all the time by myself, me and Charlie the dog. So it's like that he getting on my nerves most of the time because he won't bark all day. But it's like, you know, I have to change my environment. But, you know, being in the house and being trapped with those things, with those personal roadblocks that I have to get over every single day, is like constant adversity for me. And I'm also an introverted person, but I'm starting to learn now that I have to continuously force myself to be extroverted and not allow myself to be as isolated as I naturally am, and put myself in different environments that allow me to be extroverted but still feed me. Like, one thing that I'm about to do is I guess it's a win that we're gonna say later, but I'm doing this co-working space. Like I got a membership at this co-working space. But the awesome part about that is, and it's something I always wanted, like out toward offices, like because I knew I needed to get out the house. But them things expensive, okay? Like them joints, them co-working spaces are not cheap at all. Like that's a whole rent payment that you will be paying for them things. But this particular place, and I was going to tell you about it too, in DC, they do like a work exchange thing. So like you work for like 5 hours. So you sit at like a little desk and you can still work in your business. You know, of course, just do something that don't require too much intense focus, but you can still work in your business for 5 hours a week. So one day, for part of the day out the week, and you get a membership to the place. So you get unlimited access to like, you know, the conference room where we went and we recorded the episode with Tish.
Okay.
Yeah, so Tish does the same thing, and she put me onto it. So like that's like a great thing that I'm doing now to kind of overcome that whole introvertedness. It's put me in a position where I'm gonna be around people more, and I'm able to socialize and stuff like that. Like y'all don't think because I say I'm an introvert that I be in the house in the corner. Like that's not it. Because I think when you say I'm an introvert and I like isolate myself sometimes, the picture I get in my mind is like somebody in a fetal position in a dark room. Like that really don't be it. I be having a
rocking
good time.
back and forth.
Right, rocking back and forth. Like that's not what it is. I be having a good time in the house sometimes, you know, chilling. But that's just what it is. As an introvert, we get fed by isolation. As extroverts get fed by being around a bunch of people. To me, if I'm around a bunch of people too much, I get drained. So I have to have alone time. But yeah, anyway, my personal adversities are the biggest thing for me right now. And it's a constant process of growth as me as a person, of growth in my faith, and just growth in general for me to get over it. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's a big one, especially within yourself. That's bomb. Like, see what I mean? Y'all take them people on me, dog.
What is
I
wrong?
ain't
What are you talking about?
look. She be blowing me. No, I'm just joking. That I don't think I've had that. I don't know my what entrepreneur adversities have I had thus far? I mean, could people telling me like, no, I don't think that's one. I don't know. I guess I've been hearing I guess it is an adversity because it really could hinder my thought process and how I do things. Like when I would definitely being a full-time entrepreneur to people, and I think I did tell you this, I was at work. But it's like everything happens to me while I'm at work. I was talking to one of the ladies and telling her my last day there and everything. She said, what you gonna do? And I just told her, you know, like I'm going full-time entrepreneur. And I'm like, it's honestly not really like, not saying that I didn't want to do it, but I kind of was forced into it, and having jobs not respond back. I mean, there's nothing else that I can do. I can keep applying, but if nobody's biting back, I can't just sit there and dwell, you know, on a situation. So like I can stop my business and be sitting there applying all day to jobs. No, I have a whole business to run and I'm gonna keep it going. So that's my only livelihood at the moment and what is gonna be, because I'm not looking for no more jobs. But you know, if that's the case, then that's what's gonna be. So she's like, oh, well, you need to have a plan B because those things don't last.
Ma'am.
Y'all, I spared my head to the 360 because I was so like, I was really stuck. Like, excuse you, you need to have a plan B. Well, what was your plan B? Because you're still here.
Right.
And that's not where you wanted to work.
Right.
So, you know, I like keep hearing that from different people. Like, oh, well, you never have a plan B. You know, what if it don't work out? I think it's more so the adversities of what other people saying to you, the what ifs. Like, you're not even what ifing yourself. And if you are what ifing yourself, you don't need other what ifs because you're already what ifing yourself. So I guess that's the adversity for me, like to just run it and keep hitting that like what if, and it feels like people aren't supporting you or not believing in you. But I mean, at the end of the day, this company, if I didn't have what it takes, or if I didn't have the skill set behind it, we wouldn't have made it to 2 years. We wouldn't have over 30 clients, you know, over 2 years. Like, so I have to keep reminding myself of that and learning from from that experience, and just saying like, oh, people saying what ifs to you because they what if their life.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying those things to you because their life didn't go that way. So it's just keep reminding myself of that, and like, so you don't what if yourself because you've done this far.
Right.
Only
Exactly.
what if you should say is, dang, what if I don't do this tonight? Am I really gonna do it in the morning? That's the only what if I should have. Question if
Exactly.
I'm really gonna stay until 4 o'clock in the morning to do this, or am I really gonna get up early and do it? Like, that's the only what if that you should have within yourself, is that type. And everything I was just ignore it, because it's so childish, and it could really, really, really down your mood and how you feel about yourself and your confidence level, and you don't need that. So just as long as you're always positive and confident, I think this was the whole message really, and everything that we've said. If you're not positive and confident within yourself, you're going to let all these things tear you down. But if you are confident and positive that you got this and you can overcome any obstacle, sis, you got it.
Yeah, and also understand that you're not going to be confident and positive all the time. Like, it's just not going to happen. Nobody's positive and confident all the time. Like, it's going to be those moments where you like, dang, do I really want to do this? Like, am I sure? Like, God, is this really what you want me to do? Like, it's going to be those moments. So prepare for those now. Get yourself around people who speak to, like Tiana said, who speak to the winner in you. Like, get around a good group of people who understand what you're going through, that can remind you of your value. Write down, if it takes you writing down everything that you've accomplished and putting it somewhere as a reference, so that whenever you're not feeling like your normal, confident, positive self, that you can be reminded of who you are. Or whether it be you deepening your relationship with God so he can remind you who you are. Whether it be you having like a little box of wins where every time you accomplish something, you throw it in there. Every time a prayer is answered, you throw it in there, and you can constantly refer back to it to feed that positivity. Then do that. But definitely understand that you're not going to be positive and confident all the time. It's just like when a storm comes, it ain't sunny and rainy all the time. You have to prepare for that storm. So the same thing, the mindset struggles are going to come in your entrepreneurial journey. They're going to come while you're still working. They're going to come when you're self-employed. They're going to come when you make your first 6 figures. They're going to come when you make your first million. Like, no level of success exempts you from struggling or exempts you from having a bad day or not feeling positive and confident sometimes. Like, it's going to happen. Just prepare for it now so that you can be equipped to handle it. I mean, if it wasn't for like my circle of friends who always support me and speak life into me and pray for me and pray with me, like I probably would have been drove myself crazy with as perfect as I'm always trying to be. Like, I would have probably been had myself checked into St. Elizabeth some daggone where. So
Oh God.
so you gotta make sure that you just surround yourself with the right people and prepare for it, because them days gonna come. But it's a part of the journey, and it's way more great days than bad. So buckle up. That's all I can say for anybody. Buckle up, get ready.
Positively, absolutely. I had one of those moments today, and it was only because I was dealing with responding to someone that my client was trying to bring onto the team, and it was a really big situation that happened. And I'm like, am I really grown enough to do this? Because the way I wanted to respond to this child, y'all, let me tell you, the Milan, listen, the real Milan was coming out. Not the business professional one, but the real Milan was about to come out on that child. And I'm just like, I can't do this. I can't. My mouth too slick, my attitude too. But I had to bring it back in, like, no. You love this way too much. I had to give myself that self-check. But I really was questioning, could I do it? Because she tried all of my good in me. All of my positivity that I had, but I didn't let that person again get my energy, because their energy was bad, and they're in a bad place. So I let them just be in that sunken place by themselves. I didn't entertain it. But yeah, Taylor's right. You're gonna have those days where you like, can I really do this? And it could be off a situation just this that I just said, where you will really question, can you really be in this profession and deal with people, or have a service base, and people always say, or trying to get over on you, I can really like this product or this, that, and that. Can I have my money back after they didn't order it and seen it may not have been everything that they wanted? I'm not saying it's a bad quality. They just want to be a dick.
Yeah. I've even heard horror stories of like people, and this happened recently to somebody I know, like coaches will have people like, oh, I gotta tell you something when we get off here. But people who will sign up for like a coach's program or something like that, and then like don't pay. Like what? How do you like calling the bank like this charge is fraud? Like excuse me, people do stuff like that or try to bash you and stuff like that to other people, and it's all a reflection of them. Like when you in service-based businesses, like people try it. So those are things as well that you got to prepare for, because sometimes your mindset, it can be contingent off of how your client is acting that day, if they tripping like that or pulling crazy moves like that. So yeah, things happen.
I definitely agree. Well, I think we definitely had some great takeaways from this episode, and definitely everything that we talked about. So a few of mine was definitely rising above your obstacles. Don't let your obstacles be the anchor. Don't let it be the anchor on your boat weighing you down. Like you just gotta push through. Like Tatum said, you're gonna have those days, but there is more good days than bad days. You're gonna push through them. And then thinking positive, trying to think positive. You're not gonna think positive 24/7, but if you can find some light and some positivity within each situation, then you're definitely gonna be fine. You can't be a negative Nancy all the time and let's be stuck in a situation. Like I had a really bad night. I had a really bad day, but I had to vent it out and I got over it. Like I'm fine now. I'm not even mad about the situation no more. I could really care less because I'm about to go take a nice hot shower, eat this crab macaroni and cheese. Yeah, crab macaroni and cheese and with some orange juice and watch Power, and I'm gonna be fine. Like, that's the positive thing about it. I have food, I have a roof, and I have a bed to sleep in. So I'm good off of that. And then taking advantage of the opportunity, even if it's a bad one, make it good. Tatum and I in our business spaces could have taken those, I guess, negative things and not looked at it as an opportunity to find that self-love and self-growth within ourselves. And that's what they really are. God will throw you curveballs. Either you're going to swing at it or you're just going to watch that curve. And if anybody knows how softball goes, you swinging that curveball, that's a strike.
Yeah.
So those are my key takeaways. You got anything, C?
Just prepare for the storm. Just prepare. My mom calls it a toolbox. Get your toolbox together. Put your affirmations in there, put your confessions in there, put your scriptures in there, put your wins in there. Do what you got to do, but just prepare. Have that plan, that emergency plan together. So when things aren't going well, or when the adversity seems like it's too much, you can just break that glass case and take care of it.
Absolutely. Well, that wraps up that portion of the episode. I know we're about to go on our break because we didn't wrap y'all up for about a good 45 minutes, and then we're going to questions.
And we're back with questions. We can just right into it. I'll break this straight out. I'm trying to watch Insecure, okay? So we got to get through these questions.
Hey, oh my God, they're not going to know why this was so funny. This is the funny part.
For real.
All right, T, go ahead with what questions you got, T?
It's 10:40. Insecure started 5 minutes ago. So, all right. So this question comes from the real Cam Doll. She said, "Hey y'all, I'm 16 years old and I'm really interested in starting a e-boutique. Do you have any tips?" Milan?
Any tips? I guess figuring out what platform you're going to sell it on first, looking at how much that platform is going to take away it, and then that way you can actually you will know how to price your clothing, because a lot of these online websites or e-boutiques, quote unquote, will take a percentage depending on what they are, like Shopify and things like that. So really getting into knowing which one you're going to use. That's the first tip I have. See?
Yeah, and I would say find a mentor. Starting an e-business, as far as like the process to starting it is, in my opinion, is pretty like cut and dry. Get the clothes, buy it at a certain price, sell it at a certain price, get your marketing stuff together, find out your platform. All of that is pretty standard, but I would just find a mentor. And because you're 16, you have the cuteness advantage. You can reach out to somebody who is established in your industry and be like, hey, I'm 16. I want to start a business. I love what you do. Do you mind mentoring me? Like, people are way nicer to kids than they are to adults. So I think you should definitely find a mentor that already has a boutique and learn as much as you can. That's it. Next question comes from friend to the show, my girl, Tish. She says, when launching a new product in your service-based business, what are some good ways to start introducing your market to the products?
So you go on that one first. I gotta think.
Yeah, I gotta think about it too. When launching a new product, I don't really think you have to do much introducing of the products. I think you should integrate them with what you're already doing. So Tish has a journal. So whether it be you like up in the pricing of your coaching program to include the journal, I would do something like that. That way you're not even really doing the extra work of selling it. You're just utilizing it in what you're already doing. And the cost of it is being taken care of through the cost of your program. And also implement it into your sales funnels. So put the product as one of the steps in your sales funnels. Or let's say after you get off of if you do like an introductory call, your upsell could maybe be the book or something like that. Or whatever your funnels are, I think you should just implement it starting out as like a step to the funnel. And make sure that you're a product of your product. Like you always using it. Everybody that you work with always using it. Make it fun for them. So be like, maybe have them like post something or something. We'll talk about it in more detail, Tish, but definitely integrate it into what you're already doing. I think that's a good start.
Yeah, I think that is great advice. And also what I started doing, just doing Instagram lives. You don't have to do Instagram lives all the time, of course, but like I'll have a topic about something and then I'll find a way to tie in the service at the end of it, saying, if you guys need help with this or you're looking for this, we do offer a service X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. And then set up your discovery call, blah, 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 just kind of tying it in that way. Like you said, something fun and just keeping up what you normally do. Like I normally do Instagram lives, but now I just found ways to tie in my products and things that I offer at the end of them. So.
Yep, I agree. So let's hop right into these wins.
Hold on, wait. I haven't done the yes in a while. I need to make sure we up and ready.
Okay.
Hold on, let's see, because I don't want y'all trying to clown me. Y'all know how y'all get down. Y'all don't be loyal to me all the time. Y'all be on Tatum's side trying to joke. Okay, so I'll say my wins and then I'll do the yes because I ain't got time to hit yes after every single one. So I have 3 wins of the week. So I'm going to go to the bottom to the top. My first win is I'm a panelist for Ladies in the Industry in October. So that's dope. My topic is love and friendship. So basically how love and friendship operate in your business. So that's dope. My next one is being a keynote speaker at the Entrepreneurship Luncheon in Baltimore on August 12th. Tickets are $28. So make sure you guys look up that one and get your ticket.
What day?
August 12th.
August 12th. Okay, I'm gonna come. What time?
It's a Saturday. I think it starts. I gotta look at my calendar. I think it started at 2. I could be lying. It's in my calendar. Listen, you know how that go in your calendar. It lets you know. But I'll send it to you when we get off. I'll send you the flyer. And then my last one for the week, this is like the biggest one. So keep your fingers crossed. I was nominated as HBCU's top 30 under 30. I don't know when the nomination happened or who nominated me, but shout out to y'all real ones. But based off your nominations, I made it as a semifinalist.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
So those are my wins of the week.
Yes, congratulations. I'm so excited. I remember when we first started this, you ain't even like to hear yourself talk. I'm not listening to the episodes. I don't want to hear that. Oh my God, stop, cut that off. I don't want to listen to that back. And now here you go. Speaking keynote speaker at these events. Yes, I'm proud of you.
Thank you. And you know me, I'm not really big on speaking on panels, but if it's something around that I do and I'm passionate about, then I'll speak on it. But I'm not about to speak on something that's, I'm not even interested in.
Right, exactly. Yes, congratulations.
Thank you. Let me hear your wins, girl.
Okay, so I had a great business over breakfast event this past weekend. I wanted to keep it very intimate, under 10 people. So it was about maybe 6 or 7 of us, and we had a great time talking business. We masterminded together. I taught them about sales funnels. They built out their own sales funnels. So it was awesome. I want to do it again. We'll see how it converts as far as convert into clients. So we'll see. If it converts well, then I'll definitely do it again. And I want to actually go to other places and do it. So if you're not in the DC area and you want me to come out and you can pull together under 10 people, like I'm totally down for coming out. Between like 5 to 10 people, like I'm totally down for traveling wherever to do it, because I had such a great time. It was super low key. Everybody's businesses is awesome. All of the girls were awesome. So shout out to everybody who came out. The next one is I'm going to be volunteering at an event in Pennsylvania where Michelle Obama is the keynote speaker. So I'm going to have to pray that I don't hit the ground, because I'm pretty sure if I see her, I'm going to hit the ground. Like, I'm going to fall the hell out of just straight admiration. Like, I already know. So I'm like so excited about that. And the same week, I'm going to be speaking in Miami. So I'm going to be like fake that week, you know, in DC one day, Pennsylvania the other day, flying off to Miami on the beach and the other day in the same week. Like, I'm about to be real pressed. So
being straight up stunner.
Right. So y'all could be like, Tatum doing the most. Absolutely. Because I'm excited about it. So yeah. And then I have of course I got that membership to the co-working space. I talked about that. So that's a huge win for me, just as far as like my day-to-day environment. And what's also awesome about that place is it's a bunch of social entrepreneurs there. So people whose businesses are around a cause. So I love that, because that's actually a target audience that I'm creating in my business as well, because I really want to help people who want to make a difference for a living. Like, that's why I started the Queen Academy, because I wanted to help teen girls. So for people who want to let's say save animals or help fight global warming or whatever, I can help them build a business around it. So that's something I'm moving into, and so I'm excited that those are the people who have spaces there, because I'm going to be around my target audience all day. So I'm excited about what that turns into, in addition to me being out the house. But I wanted to say something before about these two things, about like the power of having the right people in your circle. So y'all hear me brag about Tish and Tiana all the time. So today's no different. But Tish actually found this speaking engagement in Miami. And I told her this, I'm like, she could have very well like applied for this like by herself, and we would have been supportive of her, like not thought twice about it. But she actually pitched us as a group to present on the importance of masterminding and sisterhood in business. So I thought that was like so freaking just dope. You know what I mean? Because who does that? Like, you know, everybody's out here trying to make it happen for themselves. Who actually includes other people with them and actually wants to, you know, do these things with your friends, with your sisters in success. So, and she also is the one who told me about the event in Pennsylvania, because she's like the plug. Tish is like the plug with everything. So she told me about the event, and she texted me and was like, Tatum, you have to sign up to volunteer at this women's event in Pennsylvania. Michelle Obama's going to be the keynote. And I was like, well, I'm on a website and I don't see Michelle Obama nowhere. I'm sure she's going to be, if she was speaking here, it would be on the front page. She was like, just trust me, she's going to be there. I'm like, if she's not here, I'm going to be salty that I signed up to like just be coming and helping. And she not there. She's like, just trust me. I got, she said she had like the inside scoop or whatever. I was like, all right, fine. So this is like months ago. So I signed up, and then like maybe 2 weeks ago, they made the announcement. I was like, yes. Okay. Shout out to her. She got it right. I don't got to be
plug.
Yes. But yeah, I just want to shout her out just for being a great friend and a great person, because she doesn't have to be, you know, the plug for everybody. She definitely didn't have to sign us up for Miami. Like, she could have did that herself. So the fact that we're chosen, this was chosen by the conference facilitators. I can't say what conference yet. They told us to not announce it until they sent us the stuff. But yeah, it's something that we're going to be doing. So I'm excited, and I'll keep y'all posted about the details. And if we have, I'm sure we definitely have listeners in the Florida, Miami area. So I'll keep y'all posted for sure. So maybe you could come and support your girl.
Yes, pull up on the kid.
Pull up on the kid.
Now, y'all, listen. Okay, wait, no, it's gonna be too late. My phone died at 3%, so it's now turning back on for Tatum's yes. And I was hoping that by the time I wanted her to keep talking, because I'm like, oh yes, keep talking, so then it could come on, so that when you finish, I can hear yes. But my phone is on the Apple screen right now, and I really want to give her yes. I'm so disappointed.
It's cool.
Wait, no needs to be mad. No needs to be mad. No, have no fear. Supercharger is here. My phone is back up and running. Hold on, wait. Okay, don't rush me now. Hold on. All right, we got it together. Yes, and yours is louder than mine. Bow.
Thank you.
I was gonna get it because I'm like, listen, I can't F this up. We haven't done this in so long, and then my phone gonna die. That's embarrassing. But I got it together. It's cool. It's all good. I'm super proud of you. I'm super proud that you got a speaking engagement. That's super dope. Like, what?
I'm hype about that.
And then of course being around D-Flotus. Because I heard nobody say she is still D-Flotus.
Right. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna put I'm gonna take a picture with her. Hopefully the Secret Service let me. I'm like gonna make it my background. My icon on social media. Every time somebody texts me, I'm gonna send that picture, like new phone, who they like I'm doing the most.
I'm like, hey, somebody come get Tatum. Take her phone, please. I need to make sure that they have a rescue unit there on site, because if you pass out from seeing her, first of all, you're going on World Star. That's the first thing. And then you go in the shade room. Girl volunteer passes out at the sight of Flotus.
And everybody will understand, okay? They will know.
That is funny, but I hope that you have a great time when you go, and I hope that you don't pass out, because that would really suck. You pass out and wake up in the hospital, and you're like, did I really see her for 2 seconds?
I know, I'll be so mad. Yes. So that wraps up. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I was going to say, don't forget to tell them about the articles to check out.
Yes, we'll definitely put these in the show notes. Check out these 2 articles on overcoming adversity. One of them is on entrepreneur.com. It's called The 6 Principles of Overcoming Entrepreneurial Adversity. And the other one is from the Huffington Post on 5 ways to deal with adversity in business. So I'll put those in the show notes so you guys can check those out for yourself and overcome whatever adversity that you will or may be going through. So that's it, you guys, for another episode of the Black Girl Boss Podcast. As usual, follow us on social media at Black Girl Bosses, or visit us on the web, www.blackgirlbosses.com. Deuces.
Yeah.